So last weekend, liberal snowflakes took to the streets of Washington, D.C. to march for science. Leave it to Bill Nye, the washed-up nutcase, to lead this crusade against weather.
Nope. Now you've gone too far, Tommy Prompter. I promised I was done with your shite, but picking a fight with Bill Nye? Bill Nye! Who are you going after next? Ellen? Tom Hanks? Dustin from Stranger Things?
I'm just gonna go get some chocolate pudding.
No, that's right, you attack transgender next because, well, you're just a bad person.
Like, all the way through to your core.
But if you must complain, psst, let's not forget, this is the woman who complains about people complaining only to complain. About Bill Nye leading a march for science, at least remember a couple of things, Tommy. Number one, the internet never forgets.
Well, this unusually harsh winter may leave some wondering if climate change is a forgotten concept. Well, despite this cold snap, scientists have reached consensus climate change is occurring.
Interesting. Was it science or the teleprompter that is to blame for your change of heart over the years? And number two, if you're picking a fight that relates to science, at least know the difference between climate and f***ing weather. But anyway, this fact-free, trigger-happy rant is no different from what we've come to expect. Blah, blah, snowflakes, finger-wavy thing, blah. Everything in between is just there to be destroyed, point by point, shall we?
Let's be honest, his march wasn't about science or green energy or wind farms. It was about bashing Trump and begging for EPA funding.
I don't think anyone pretended this wasn't about Trump, love, because the guy is on a one-man wrecking mission to destroy the progress made by previous administrations.
I'm not a big believer in man-made climate change.
It'll get cooler, it'll get warmer, it's called weather.
Since setting foot on the first tee, I mean the White House, Trump has had sights set on reversing the United States' position as a leader in the battle for a cleaner environment. It started with a gag order on the Environment Protection Agency that prevents scientists at the research division of the US Department of Agriculture from communicating with the public about taxpayer-funded research. Because what gives the taxpayers a right to know what they're funding, right? Unless it's a big-ass bomb. Am I right, Tommy? America. And then it continued with the appointment of Scott Pruitt to the head of the e.p.a. So now the man whose job, per the name of the agency, is to protect the environment, is someone who refuses to accept the established scientific proof that carbon dioxide is a primary contributor to climate change. Yes, Tommy, he actually does deny it, not just pretends to because it's what gets the clicks. And then Trump topped off his high school bully act, picking on the nerds, by signing legislation to undo the Clean Power Plan, which required states to slash carbon emissions. So tell me again how you're struggling to see how appreciating science and holding a climate-denying man-child president accountable are linked. They go hand in hand. Like you and whoever pays you to read whatever right-wing drivel they type into the teleprompter. Moving on.
Some of us forgotten Americans would rather have our tax dollars go to infrastructure, national security, and border enforcement and
infrastructure? Are you just saying words that you think are fancy? National security? Lady, is it not enough that the United States spends more than the next 8 countries combined on military, but you think more should be stripped from the already minimal amount designated to scientific research and environmental protection? Are you seriously this idiotic? And you talk about more funding for national security and border patrol to keep Americans safe. Well, quick question, Tom. Do you know what the leading killer is in America? Heart disease and cancer. And no, you can't bomb them to solve it. You need science to try and tackle these problems, to come up with new ways to combat the overwhelming health issues in this country. You hear science and your teleprompter screams climate change, so you jump. It's pathetic. And you mention again and again hard-working Americans' tax dollars shouldn't be wasted on science, but don't bat an eyelid at the fact that the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office has already logged $3.5 million in overtime costs through April 9, for which it's seeking reimbursement. The Sheriff's Office actually spends roughly $60,000 in overtime a day to provide protection to your 45th president who goes to his winter White House every single week. In fact, the visit from the Chinese president to Mar-a-Lago earlier this month cost the county $1.5 million alone. But when it comes to the golfer-in-chief's daily trips to Mar-a-Lago, that's money well spent, I guess. And let's not forget, Trump also vowed to make life easier for middle Americans by providing tax cuts for the the fucking large corporations. Could the good old working class not do with those extra pennies, Tommy? Or do those pennies not count as they're going into the pockets of the swamp monsters your beloved president swore to drain, rather than to the e.p.a? Nobody messes with Bill Nye and gets away with it. Follow me on Instagram at Francis M. Maxwell and on Twitter at Francis M. Maxwell. Also, please share this video, continue to condemn Tommy for her drivel, and continue to resist.